welcome to Variant One Shot. As you guys can see, I'm not on my normal Variant One Shot set, and that's because it's very messy right now because of the holidays and lots of other reasons. So the next several Variant One Shot episodes will be in here. But in any case, keeping in theme with Star Wars, since the new movie is just about to release, I'm gonna tell you 10 things you may not know about one of the coolest weapons in fiction, and definitely the coolest weapon in the Star Wars franchise, the lightsaber. The first fact is they were basically created by the dark side. The first proto-lightsaber was called a Force Saber and was essentially dark side energy channeled into a blade. If a Jedi picked up a Force Saber, he or she would risk immediately and unwillingly turning to the dark side just by using it. So the early Jedi made the first lightsabers in order to use these weapons without becoming evil. Second fact, they used to be called laser swords. Stupid, right? They were never called laser swords in the Star Wars universe, however, just in George Lucas's earliest drafts of the Star Wars script. So thank God they came up with lightsabers, because lightsaber sounds way cooler than laser sword. Third fact, Luke's green lightsaber in Return of the Jedi almost didn't happen. Luke's new lightsaber was going to be blue and was even shown as such in early Return of the Jedi promos. But Lucas made the call to switch it to green purely because the blue blade was more difficult to see during the fight scene at the Sarlacc pit, as it was getting lost against the blue sky. Fact number 4, lightsabers were illegal during Empire days. It wasn't enough that Emperor Palpatine tried to kill all Jedi, he made owning a lightsaber a crime, as well as forbidding the trade of the crystals needed to make lightsabers across the galaxy, no matter what planet they grew on. Now I know what some of you are thinking, what about Darth Vader? He had a lightsaber. Well, he's an exception because, well, he's Darth Vader. Fifth fact, there are 7 forms of traditional lightsaber combat, most of which, if I tried to pronounce them, I would butcher them very badly. So instead, I'm showing you this picture of the 7 forms over me talking. That way, you could pause the video and butcher the names of the forms for yourself. Unless you're like a pronunciation god, to which I say, more power to you. Fact number 6, lightsabers used to need battery packs. The earliest lightsabers, also called proto-sabers, didn't include internal power cells, mainly because they hadn't been invented yet. Proto-sabers had external power sources, meaning the Jedi had to carry around a battery pack on their backs or waists, which were attached to a lightsaber by a power cord. If the cord was cut, however, no more lightsaber. The Sith were the first ones to develop power cells that essentially got rid of the cords, which yet again just cements the fact that the dark side is way cooler. Oh, come on, don't act like you're offended by that comment. Everyone knows the dark side has better toys, characters, designs, and weapons, i.e. Darth Maul, Darth Vader, double-edged lightsaber, and I can keep going. Fact number 7, the color of a lightsaber is determined by the crystal it uses to focus the energy. Jedi and Sith alike could and did wield any color blade, but the Sith got into the habit of just using red, while the Jedi fell into the habit of exclusively using blue and green when they started using the natural colors of the planet Lum to make their blades, where green and blue were the only natural occurring colors. Now I know the Jedi Mace Windu has a purple lightsaber, but that's only because Samuel L. Jackson requested a purple lightsaber because he wanted to be able to pick himself out in a fight scene. Eighth fact, lightsabers aren't the only light weapon. One of the Emperor's assassins had a light whip, which was like a regular whip studded with lightsaber crystals, allowing the beam to move freely. There's also what are called lightsaber pikes, which are essentially lengthy handles with a short lightsaber at the end. Ninth fact, cutting off someone's hand with a lightsaber is actually a technique. It's called chomai. Chomak is when you cut off a more substantial portion of an opponent's limb. Chosun is a term to specifically describe cutting off your opponent's weapon-wielding appendage. So the fact that they have specific terms for all kinds of limb removal somewhat explains why so many people get their hands and limbs cut off in the Star Wars films. And the 10th and final fact is that lightsabers can't cut through anything. There are a few materials that resist lightsaber blades and thus have often been used to make armor. Cortosis is the most popular. Unfortunately, cortosis is deadly to touch, and it needs to be refined in order to be turned into armor, at which point it could only deflect lightsaber blades. Some creatures like lava dragons also have skin that's naturally resistant to lightsaber blades. But there you have it, friends, 10 things and or facts you might not have known about lightsabers.